I think some people, well, I know some people wonder why I'm so moody, depressing, angry, bitter, disappointed, frustrated. I'll tell you why. Because most people are untrustworthy, that's why. There are really very few people in life that you can really genuinely call your friends. There are very few people who really have your back, who really genuinely care about you and love you. Very small amount of people. Very, very small. Everybody else is out to get something from you. And you might be thinking, is David drunk? Has he had a bit to drink? Yes, I have. But you know what, honestly? I think this is probably the most brutally honest time that I ever am honest, really. When I've had a bit to drink. And you know what? It's not the healthiest way to deal with things. I accept that. But you know what? I'm tired of people. I'm really tired of people. I'm just so tired of everything. Beyond words, really. I'm tired of my marriage. I'm tired of my life. I'm tired of feeling like I'm some kind of inconvenience to people. That I've done nothing but respect and be open and honest with. And that pain, that suffering up here, I mean, that fucks you up. That messes with you over time. There's a pit of despair. There's a pit of rage. It's beyond anger. Of truly deep, raw pain, psychological pain that you can't fill in with anything. So much trauma, there's so much emotional baggage that you carry with you throughout your life. And I think it's really, unfortunately, it's only when you're drunk, it's only when you're under the influence of certain drugs that you realise that. How fucked up everything is. How fucked up so many people are. Not everybody, there are good people in this world. There are decent people in this world, of course. But a lot of people don't do anything. They don't say anything. They don't try and change anything. And they know better. They know the world's corrupt and a bad place and unfair, and yet they do nothing. Why? The world could be such a better place for everybody if people were more honest, if people stood up and had some balls for once in life and said what they really truly felt and thought about things. You know, we live in such a fake society where, you know, we live in this kind of very corporate, sterilized, controlled society where everything has to be dampened. Everything has to be put in a certain way that suits certain people. For the sake of business, for the sake of professionalism. And quite frankly, I find it fucking gross. You know, it's not surprising that people become bitter and resentful and full of hate as time goes on. I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised that people turn to drugs and to alcohol. I get it. I really do get it. You know, once your looks go, once your youth's gone, what have you got left, really? Because the world's built, really. The world is about the youth. It's not about the middle-aged group of people. It's not about the old, the elderly. Those people don't matter in that society. In a capitalist society, the youth matters. You know, the workers, the industry, the money generators of tomorrow. And this is a bit of a ramble, an incoherent ramble, I know that, but it really makes me feel very, very depressed and very sad where we are at the moment in 2024. You know, we live in such a false world. We live in such a world lacking in potential, really. A world that could be so much better, so much more peaceful, so much more spiritual, so much more meaningful. We're so driven by these very primitive, basic things that really in the end serve us no good, really. They might help us to survive, they might help us to get by in a capitalist society, but in the end they make us miserable. You know, they destroy us, really. And you could say, this is the ramblings of a drunk man. And that would be true to some extent. But also, I genuinely believe what I'm saying is true. You know, I think honestly that I felt the most free in my life when I've been drunk, when I've been at a nightclub, when I've just been on my own besides a river or a stream or the ocean or whatever it might be. Or when I truly trust somebody and I feel this sense of, you know, being carefree and this utter sense of freedom, really. I feel sorry for so many of the young people coming through society these days. I really genuinely do. I know how hard it was when I was growing up, when I was a teenager, a young adult. And I know how much more difficult it is now. I just feel pain. That's I don't know how else to describe it. I just feel this inner pain that I can't get rid of. I'm broken as a man. I have been for years, in all honesty. I'm broken because of beloved ones that have passed. People that I cared and loved deeply for. given anything for them to have still been here today. This is hard. This is a hard video to make. I don't despise people per se, but I'm disappointed. I'm deeply, deeply, deeply disappointed by people. People let you down. People lie to you. People are not transparent with you. People disrespect you. And perhaps that's the most demoralising, disheartening thing of all, really. As a man, I don't know what it's like as a woman, but as a man, I find that very... I feel empty inside, I think, is how I would describe myself these days. I don't feel happy anymore. I don't even really feel contented with my life. And, you know, again, you might say, well, you know, maybe you need to learn to drink. And I don't drink that much. I only really started drinking a few days ago. I very rarely drink. But I was just in such a bad place psychologically that I just couldn't think of any other way to deal with it. Which again is dysfunctional. It's unhealthy. It's not a good way of dealing with things. I accept that. I get it. I take responsibility for my own messed up decisions. But when you're fucking dirt poor, which I basically am, when you're in a situation that you can't basically get out of, and I really do mean that, in a country where you can't you're not allowed to turn to certain substances, alcohol's the only option. And I feel bad about it. I know that I'll look back at this video tomorrow with a different perception of it. I maybe feel a little bit of embarrassment, a little bit of guilt, regret. But that's my life anyway. My life has been nothing but regrets and stupid decisions, and poorly thought out choices. Friendships, people that I thought I could trust, people that I thought that had my back, women that I thought would love me but never could, love that wasn't reciprocated, a family that turned against me. This is hard. This is a hard one. This is perhaps the most realist, deepest video that I've probably ever made. And I hate that it takes alcohol for me to get to this point. I really do. I'm not an alcoholic. But these last few days, these last few weeks, these last few months have been really hellish. The loss of friends. This is really hard. And virtually a year ago today, I lost my uncle. My beloved Uncle Stephen, who I greatly cared for. I respected that man greatly. I admired that man. Because he was a man of an era that doesn't exist anymore. For all his faults, and he wasn't perfect. I love that man very, very, very deeply. Everybody that I've ever loved, I've loved deeply. My ex, Monique, my wife, I've loved everybody deeply. I've tried to love people deeply. I just never felt that it was ever really truly reciprocated. It's a lonely world out there. It's a lonely, 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 desperate world. Where people pretend that they're happy and put on their masks and their fake smiles and their humour and the passive aggressive witty responses, but deep down most people are not happy. Anything but happy. This video is going to be about 30 minutes long, by the way. Look, I've lost friendships over the years, and part of it was my own fault. I accept that I said some things that I shouldn't have said. I did some things I shouldn't have done. I don't blame anybody but myself. I have myself to blame for my own issues in life. Friendships, relationships, employment, marriage. I'm not perfect. I never said I was. You know what? I've always tried to love people though. I've always tried to be genuine with people. And do you know what I got for it? I got disrespect. And that cuts a deep wound within me that I can't get. I find it extremely difficult to get over. Do you know what? I might not like people telling me that they don't like me, that they don't want me. That they don't love me. But you know what? I can fucking respect it. I can respect people being honest and truthful and open about it. What I can't respect is people being dishonest and lying and avoiding the difficult conversations. Because that pain, it never goes away. It never goes away. That hate that people, the things that people do, whether it's intentional or not, I don't know. Certain things that people do that it really destroys you. When people ghost you, when people pretend that you don't exist, that you don't matter anymore. We feel utterly alone, that nobody cares about you anymore. So yeah, I'm depressed. Yeah, I'm sad. And I'm upset and I'm angry about certain people. Because I expected better from those people, that's why. Look, the world doesn't revolve around me, I get that. I get that people's lives move on and people have kids and families, and that people's lives get complicated and busy and complex. I get it. But at least give me the respect. At least be honest with me. That's all I ask. I might not like your responses, but you know what? I'd rather you were just honest about it. Because there's nothing worse than not knowing what the truth is. Of eating yourself up all the time about it. What did I do wrong? What did I say? What did I do? Or what didn't I do? What didn't I say? And I'm sorry for being emotional, but this is how I genuinely feel. A lot of men feel like this. The pain inside the average man is unbelievable. You have no idea the suffering that a lot of men go through, that they don't talk about, they don't share even with the closest of friends. Because they don't want to appear to be pathetic or apathetic or weak or out of control or in need of a therapist or whatever it might be. And yeah, I agree, the alcohol doesn't help. But you know what? That it helps me to express something that is me, that's a part of who I am. It's how I genuinely feel. I feel like I've been betrayed by people who I tried to respect, I tried to be honest with. I was maybe sometimes too transparent with. Maybe I shared too much. I accept that I'm not a perfect person, that I made mistakes. I did things wrong. I accept that. And I hold my hands up and I say, I am responsible and I am accountable for myself. I can't control what other people do or what other people think or what other people say. But I can be accountable for me. You know, the only thing that I have at this point in my life is 2 dogs and my wife. That's it. And that's great. That's wonderful. And I feel a sense of gratitude towards those things. That my wife, I think, at least tries to show that she loves me. And my dogs care about me in their own weird way. And I have my family, what's left of it. But by God, I miss people. I miss my grandmother. I miss my grandfather. I miss Philip Cookson. I miss my pets that have passed on. I miss the person that I used to be. I miss the friendships that I used to have. I miss the life that I used to have. Do you realise how painful that is to live with every day? That burden that you live with that you don't really talk about, but it's there, ever present, just bearing down on you every fucking second of the day. The regrets, the stupid shit you say, the stupid things you do. Do you realise how much of a pressure that is on your psychology? How fucking oppressive it makes you feel. The anger, the frustration, the sadness, the bitterness, the resentment, the regretful state that you have. How you eat yourself up day after day after day after day. And you just keep smiling and pretending that everything's fine, everything's happy and glorious, and there's no problems. I'm an empath. I understand what it's like to feel pain, to feel suffering, emotionally, psychologically. I get it. And I know how hard that is to carry with you every single day of your life. You know, that emotional burden, it's really hard to live with. I accept that I could have done things differently in the past. I could have been a better brother. I could have been a better son. I could have been a better partner to my ex. And I regret that. I genuinely regret that I wasn't enough for people over the years. I accept that I wasn't enough of a friend. I wasn't there enough for people when they needed me. But also it applies the other way around as well. People weren't always there for me when I needed them. When I was going through shit, when I was going through problems. This is a very raw video, and I'm sorry if this is embarrassing to you in any way, if this is too real or too open. But this is me, and this is how I feel these days, at 34 years old, not that far away from being 35. I know I look like shit. I know that I'm an embarrassment. Imagine how I feel about this every day in my life, and have felt for the past 5-6 years. I love my wife, but do you know what? I regret getting married. I should never have married her. I should never have been friends, probably with the set of people I was friends with. I should never have got involved with my ex. But do you know what? Do you know what the underlying problem of all of this has been? I'll tell you. Desperation. I was desperate. I was depressed. I was utterly lonely at times in my life, especially in my 20s. But do you know what? Probably for the first time in my life, I really feel like I'm on my own now. You know what? I'm 6 years away from 40. My youth's gone. My looks are going. Not that I had really great looks to begin with, but you know, life's changed. Things so many things have changed. So many people have changed, and not necessarily for the better. And so many things have come and gone that I wish. So many opportunities have passed me by. So many potential friendships, love interests that before my marriage that could have blossomed and flourished into something special. That's what eats me up at night. Those are the things that play in my mind. And as well as that is this overriding sense of feeling incompetent, not good enough, having no self-worth, low confidence. Feeling like I've let people down time and time again. I didn't necessarily mean to. I didn't intend to do that. I miss certain people. You know, sometimes I do miss my ex. Sometimes I do miss people from school. Certain people that I had a bit of a love interest for. I do miss those people. They meant something to me. They meant a lot to me. I miss school. I miss the freedom of that time of my life. I miss being a child. I miss being a teenager. I miss being a young adult. I miss that sense of that joy in life, that happiness. Because that I haven't felt for a very long time. And quite frankly, before I finish this, which we'll be finished in a few minutes, I want out. I really want out of this. I don't want to continue like this for much longer. I can't tolerate it anymore. I just can't. I can't continue the way I am. I just can't continue like this. With no money, no job, no sex life. Let's just be completely open about it, shall we? No friends. No social life. Look at me. I never used to be like this. I never used to sound like this. I've allowed this shit to happen to myself because I didn't feel worthy enough. So I settled for less. Because I didn't feel like I was worth anybody, worth anything. It's my fault. Not my parents' fault. Although, to be honest, they probably didn't help in other ways. It's my problem. I brought myself to this situation. Me. I made the choices. I made the crap decisions time and time again. I tolerated enough bullshit. I got myself into this mess, nobody else. And I must get myself out of it. One way or another. Whatever it takes. I have to leave. I have to get out of this. Because I can't take any more of it. I'm utterly broken in here. Utterly broken. And I need help. I can't do this on my own. I should never have come here. I should never have got married. And I'm sorry to those people that I've laid my problems bare on the table for. I'm sorry that I've burdened people with my problems over the years. I really am. You didn't deserve that. It wasn't your fault. I was just in such a deep state of darkness. I didn't have anybody else to turn to at the time. I'm sorry for that. It wasn't your fault. You didn't need to hear it. You didn't need to. It wasn't your responsibility. So this video is going to end now. You won't see too many of these kind of videos on my channel because I don't get drunk that often. But when I do, this is the real me coming out. There's no filter, there's no nothing. This is how I really honestly feel, but I just don't really like talking about it because I don't want to be judged or criticised or be put in a box. So to those men who are going through similar things, I get you, I understand you, and I feel genuinely sorry for you. And I empathise with you greatly. I know what it's like. I know how difficult it can be. Yeah, okay, I don't have kids, but I get what it's like to suffer in a marriage and a relationship. But I also know what it's like to make shitty decisions that lead you to it. But you thought you were making the best choices at the time that you made them. You had the best of intentions, but it led you down the wrong path. And that's where I'm at. And I'm on the wrong path in life, in virtually every aspect. And I've got to change that. And I just want to say before I finish, thank you to all those people that have been there for me over the years, sending messages and things like that. Just willing to listen, because I really do appreciate that. It has meant a lot to me. You're good people, not perfect, but good people, and I respect that, because it's not easy when you're going through your own problems in life. That's it for today.